Eugene, anything to add on that? You know, these are of course it's a very technical conversation.
Yeah.
Because number one, I look at it from two sides. When the youth are taken to the main church, they don't grow.
That's all.
Simply because there is an assumption when a pastor sees people in the main church, there is an assumption that they are born again and they know the Bible. And they are not given the very foundational and basic truths. But again, we see there is a lot of emphasis, especially on members, not necessarily on the youth church, but there is a lot of emphasis on the people that are in the main church and who run away from the reality. Teenagers don't tell it. In fact, anyone that runs a teens ministry will tell you they are more, if you look at it from a different angle, in terms of resources, they are more of a liability than an asset. Now, looking at it in this angle, Pastor Eugene, I know you've done ministry in Islando, and of course, you deal with other akogeto ama babi, you deal with what do you think? Church inafaa kufanya nini? Church inafaa kufanya nini?
For me, I would say, if we go back to basics, church should be all about family. And if there is an investment that we can do as parents, is to invest in where our children can grow. That's why we are taking them to schools, as young as they may be. And I believe if we would have the right perspective of what a church should be, then we will invest in the things that matter in a church. I believe we should refocus our strengths and our investments, and we begin now to invest in our children and also invest in the teenage church, the teens church, and also in the youth church. Because now, this is not the church of tomorrow. The teens church, the youth church, is not the church of tomorrow. Actually, this is the church of today. There has to be an involvement. There has to be an investment, a deposit that we are doing today while it matters. I remember one day we were having a discussion and you were telling us that teenagehood is a gate. Now, battles are either won or lost at the gate. So we may think that let us wait for these young people to reach a certain age so that when they maybe go to work, we can now begin to invest in them. By that time, we'll have lost them. Maybe some to drugs. Maybe some, by the time we're investing in them as young people, they already have 2 or 3 kids. It will be too late. I feel that now is the right time to invest in the young people while it still matters. Having said that, I will say this, Apostle, that you see, if we lose our youths at this particular moment, there will not be a time to redeem them, because teenagehood is a gate. Look at Acts chapter number 2. When Peter is speaking to the people, he says that in the last days, the Lord will pour out his Spirit upon all flesh. What happens is that the Lord begins to talk about partnership. There will be a partnership. I will pour out my Spirit upon the young and upon the old. Meaning that if we lose the young people, we have lost the church. You get? Because visions are for the young people. If you have a vision as a church and you don't have young people, you have lost it. Who will carry on with what you carry? Yes.
How do we bring the balance? Because I'm trying to look, I know we have diversity of ministries. Like I'm trying to look even where we are as a church. No space for youth church. You know, generally, any pastor who launches out, there is no pastor who launches out thinking about teams. We launch out thinking about the main people. I'm afraid if nothing happens, we might end up where Europe ended. Where we build cathedrals, but we didn't build the next generation. So, what are some of the creative ways in terms of assimilation? Because someone said we have goats in church and we assume they are sheep until the day we hear the bleating of goats and ask ourselves, where did they come from? Yet these goats were never translated into sheep because no one evangelized, no one discipled, people assumed because the goat entered in church, it became a sheep. What are some of these, some of the creative ways that we can use even to begin to reach these people intentionally, transform them, and disciple them?
I think cultures are built. The first man on earth was a manager. And one of the things I know, there has to be implementation, how you use resources to get the achievement of particular goals and plans that have been set. So the first question here becomes, Pastor, let me ask you, from the first time that we have begun and launched out as a ministry, there must have been a detailed blueprint of what we wanted to see. Other thing I would say, in that blueprint of the main vision, may the youth and the teens first be included. Because if you don't include it, somebody said, if it is not on paper, then it is paper. Because if they are not included, then they will not in any way share in the allocation of any need resources that are coming in. Number two, we have to move out of that stereotype that they don't bring anything to the ministry. In fact, I realize they bring in something. One of the things is for sure, youth is a symbol of strength. And I realized there are particular things that that if they left, doing them would be a headache. I'm imagining you picking up the elders, picking cameras in church, or trying to do the praise and worship, or doing particular things. There are people that are that vibrant to be able to avail themselves for practices, come in, have a time to even do particular cases to extend, deep hours in the night consistently, which completely would be a very hard thing for if you didn't have the youth in place. So I would begin by saying they have to first be included. The last thing that I would like to say, we have to stop being afraid to invest. I realize that there will never be space for anything. It is something that you have to be intentional to create. We are managers, not owners. So get a team, sit down, start to strategize on what do we do with a large number of youth present. How do we move on from here? Maybe you have a small space, but could we do something, for example, change in our timings, give them the first service, have another second service, or let them meet on Saturday, or a particular thing, or let's give them caches, or let's give them worship experiences. Anything that will make them feel that they are part would be a great solution to that.
Eugene, in 1 minute, I think, do you think also the youth make unnecessary demands to the main church? Okay, I'm a pastor, could you let to a budget, your concert, which is expensive than a crusade? Na wanakuolea, unajua vile, wanakanika wata jam, wamekupangia kesha, half of that kesha is dancing competition, and they want tea and molasses. Do you think also there's a place where my youth nika uchokoza main church?
Kabisa hiyo iko. Na hiyo itawaisha. But as I had said earlier, if it's a family setup, then we as the fathers, we as the leaders, we have to bring these people to the place of responsibility. You see?